Hello and welcome back to the Villa podcast. It's been a while. I am here, as always, with my good friend Dan Wiseman. Dan, how you doing, bro? A lot has happened since we last spoke, and again, hasn't it? It's become a bit of a thing recently. We've been a bit busy, but we've got plenty of things to talk about, nevertheless.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot more so than normal. Like a weird amount. It seems to happen every time. The stars need to align for you and I to jump on a pod. But I think we needed a little bit of time, and we do this with the Villa as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Like when a big result or something like that, or something that hurts a little bit more than normal happens, we usually let it sit for a while. Both you and I, we've both watched games together. I've played football with you, mate. I think we both. We are both quite emotionally charged when it comes to the beautiful game. So I think for the betterment of ourselves, our reputations online, and for you, the faithful, loyal listeners of the Villa podcast, it's probably best that you allow Dan and I just to let it sit, let it simmer, let it calm, let the storm pass, see what it reveals, and then we jump on a few days after. And I think that's what we're doing here because, yeah, you guys have probably noticed we've been a little bit quiet after the final. And that's because, as you were sort of saying, Dan, it doesn't really feel like it's sunk in yet. I've got to be honest, and I don't want to get slaughtered for saying this. It hurt badly at the time, but in the days afterwards, I've sort of grown accustomed to it. I don't know whether that's because I always said the whole time, if there was one team I wouldn't mind losing it to, it'd be those Italians, because you can't you just have to love that team, don't you?
Yeah, it was. I think, to be fair, Dan, when we were covering the Euros from the beginning, and correct us if we're wrong, but I know we've definitely, sort of spoken in private, Dan, and said Italy are the ones we did feel like Italy from the start were probably going to go on to win it if it wasn't. I know you said France on the social jar, but
did you need to bring that up?
But we spoke about Italy, so it's fine, man.
We were having a nice time here.
I mean, France weren't having nice though, were they? But that's another story, mate. That's another story. But a lot of things, yeah. I feel it's weird, Dan, isn't it? Because I think everything that Euro 2020, which, by the way, I hate that it's called Euro 2020. Everything that Euro 2020 kind of, I think, will be remembered for. We're talking sort of 10, 20 years time. When you think about the legacy of 96, and of course we weren't alive for that, but we've certainly had that sort of forced down our throats by the BBC and ITV. You think of what could have been, and there will, I do feel like Euro 2020 will be sort of tainted with that same kind of brush. Maybe not to the extreme, because I think there were two good England sides in the 90s, weren't there? Really, two sides that definitely should have gone on and won something. I feel like our England side isn't quite there yet, which is why I'm perhaps a bit detached from it at this point now. And again, that's not me saying that I didn't care. I was in tears after the penalty shootout, Dan. I couldn't stop crying. That's just what it does to us. But, I feel like with everything, with the tournament being, partially here, obviously England played, most of their games at Wembley, with, that final, it being on penalty shootouts as well, beating the Germans on the way. There's so many storylines, so the vindication of Gareth Southgate against Germany. And to be honest, I feel like anything after that, it was probably going to be a bonus. To be perfectly honest, I feel like we probably approached that final in the same way as the Germany game. However, the execution just wasn't there whatsoever. But, there's going to be Qatar. That's coming up thick and fast, man. That's December. That's going to be mental. Next December, we're talking about here, where I think England really do have to go on and win it, Dan. And I think after that is where Southgate will be, sort of primarily judged on his sort of full time as an England manager. I don't see him, regardless of even if we win it or not, Dan, Southgate's not in the job after Qatar, which kind of leaves England in a bit of a tricky spot, doesn't it? Because we have so many talented players and seemingly no sort of available managers, obviously at this moment in time, who you would really trust to sort of, have the reins of this side. I think the one thing that does give me encouragement, Dan, just to kind of, round off the England chat, obviously with your thoughts after this as well, mate, is that we got this far playing very cautious football. I feel like if there is, whether it's Gareth or whether it's someone else that can finally let the reins off the attacking talent that England have, I would feel a lot. I'm feeling kind of optimistic for Qatar, to be fair, mate. I think, we played in games where Grealish, Foden, Sancho, Rashford were all on the bench. And that's mental, isn't it? That is crazy. So I feel like you guys who follow us on Twitter, you kind of know how we feel. We spoke about this plenty of times, but just for the sake of the podcast, I feel like it's fair to say, Dan, to speak on behalf of you for a second, I think we're both kind of done with Gareth and with England, certainly after Qatar.
I think it's one of those, mate, where I saw someone tweet it earlier today. I love Gareth Southgate for the way that he handles himself and the way that he handles this team. I've never seen, let alone an England manager, a manager handle the press and speak as eloquently and punchily. Like, the guy doesn't miss a beat. Everything is so carefully considered. You can see that the way that he cares and the standards that he sets, and on that side of things, everything else in terms of his tactical play embodies exactly what you would want from an England manager. He's just this guy who has his own. You feel like every game is a redemption story for him, that he touches onto the touchline and tries to exercise these demons of his, and that comes across. But you're right in that, saying that England fans in Russia, we didn't expect to go that far. And that's why it was so brilliant, is because this semi-final run, we weren't expecting. And I don't think after the group games, anyone was expecting a run to the final. But as soon as you get past that Germany game, then it changes, because you see the draw, you see the teams involved, and you think, okay, here we go. And then you have that Ukraine game and you think, okay, Gareth's done it. He's taken the shackles off. This is it. But the one thing that I can't take, mate, when it comes to losing football matches is when it could have so easily been different.
Yeah.
It's like when you put it all out there and you lose because you were just simply not the better team. And look, hey, I don't think our starting 11 was as good as the Italians. I was so confident going into the game, and I saw the lineups when they flashed up on the screen before the game, and you sort of look at their midfield, and ours just didn't really square up to it. But we allowed them to get back into that game. After you've gone one up in the second minute, that can be it. The floodgates are open. You don't have to go. I'm not saying you go and get a third or a fourth in a final, but just do what you need to do from that position. It's like starting the goal with a 1-0 lead. Like, all you've got to do is just get to that. And we slowly regressed, and the Italians came onto us. And you give any side in that World Cup that much time and that much space around you, in and around the pockets around your 18-yard box, and they'll pick you apart. And that's all that I had a beef with, mate. But no, I think it's good that it's only a year away, because there's clearly a very good spirit in the camp. And I think it will be very much the same sort of squad. No one's going to age drastically in that sort of year's time. I think the 23 we take will be very, very similar to the one we took to the tournament. The team spirit is there. That's the hard bit to build. Now you just got to do it on the pitch.
Isn't it mad, Dan, as well, how quickly we've kind of reared out of this tournament? And, pre-season had already started, days before. And, we're now seeing, pictures of John McGinn and Wes back at training, and things are in full flow, and Warsaw away is next week as well. So to everyone who's going to that, I hope you have an amazing time. It will be, nice to kind of get some sort of normality, go into away games following the Villa. It's just mad how quickly this kind of stuff happens, Dan. And, the past 18 months, not to sound like a broken record, they've just been non-stop, mate. Not even just for us. Like, you got to think about these poor guys. Dougie Luiz straight back out to link up with Brazil to go and play in the Olympic squad. That's mental, isn't it, mate? It's crazy. So it's going to be an interesting season. Obviously, with pre-season starting, Dan, the kit came out the other day. It was the kit that was leaked that we kind of briefly spoke about, I think, on the back end of the last podcast. Having seen the kit in sort of normal daylight, seeing the players don it, wow. I've got to say, I'm impressed. It's not that much of an improvement on last season's kit, Dan, but the sort of two-tone claret, the darker claret stripes, clearly going for a Luke Roper vibe. However, I think it's really good, especially considering the last year of the Kappa deal, Dan. It's a solid kit, and of course, we've still got the away and thirds to come out, but it looks so good on the players, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where we're all a bit relieved. I think those leaked photos, they didn't look great, did they? Like a little while back, but this one looks really nice. And you're right in saying that after the final, I just felt like I wanted a break from football. It's like that disappointment was eating you, and I just sort of felt like just a few weeks, and then you see the boys in the home shirt, and you see the preseason starting, and you see Emi Buendia waltzing around the training ground, and you see Dean, you see guys like Rich, who I haven't seen in ages, Richard Kelly, and that lovely interaction that he had, and you just sort of think, yeah, this is it. This is it. The Euros was great. I loved it. It was a fantastic tournament. But these boys, this is where I belong. I'm really excited, mate. There is a sense of excitement ahead of this season that I don't think I've ever experienced in my relatively short life as a Villa fan. I can't remember this time I was this optimistic for a season, whereby I think we could do real damage here, and that we're not doing in the transfer market. I've got absolute faith that whoever we bring in will just be great. It's like Ashley Young just pops up every now and again. You're just like, wow, like this is
We're,
going to be such a great ride. And yeah, mate, I'm really excited. The kit turned out great. Loved the kit launch. I think that was really nice, really well put together. I always love it when they involve like the stands. I know that sounds really weird, but like when it's not just one of those sort of generic ones when they're out on the pitch and stuff like that. Like the fact that they were all sat in the Holte and you had those lovely shots of Tyrone at the stairs at the back and all that sort of stuff. It's really nice. Hats off to Kappa because I really like this kit. And yeah, mate, the excitement is there. I mean, desperate for that Sevilla game at home. Wow.
that's going to be special. That's going to be special. I hope sort of ticket details and that will get announced soon. Obviously, definitely think we're still waiting on all of our sort of home games. But on the kit stand, now last night I was in the cinema watching Black Widow, and I seem to have missed the whole scandal. Dan, I don't know if you would have seen this. I'm sure you would have because it's all my timeline's been inundated with when I was catching up last night after the film. Even bleeding into this morning and tonight, people were getting there was someone leaked the discount code down for the kit, and
Yeah.
and you were able to get the kit for a whole £30 off the retail price. And as the kind of stories evolved, naturally, as sadly would have expected, Villa have issued refunds. I think a few have slipped through the net because a few of them actually got dispatched. A few of the orders, I think that kind of depended on whether people were paying for next day delivery, all that kind of stuff. I mean, first of all, how does this happen? And second of all, why does this happen when I'm watching a film and I'm not at my phone for like the best part of 3 hours? Like, oh my God, that was mental.
Nuts, mate. This is what I've missed. This is the Villa. It's just ridiculous, mate. It's non-stop. I just like sort of kit release was all very well and good. I went up my phone and all of a sudden half of my feed have snagged £27 Villa kits. And you're like, what is going on? No, I didn't get one myself either. I've entered the Emi Buendia giveaway though. So hopefully he'll start me with one of those. But no, it's mate, never a dull day here in the claret and blue, is there? Let's be honest.
There really isn't it, and it does. Even throughout the whole of the tournament, Dan, regardless of whether it was just sort of, oh, England have advanced. Of course, there's so much news and there's so much to keep up with just with the whole tournament in general. But it felt like there was just so much Villa news because it's constantly Jack Grealish to Manchester City, this, that, and we were blessed with footage of Jack Grealish donning the new kit. Dan, we've got beautiful pics of that. You guys would have all seen it. I'm sure it's most people's wallpapers up at this point, to be honest. Can we look too much into that, though, Dan? Should we look too much into that? All I want to say is I feel like we just need to chill out because I can't be dealing with this kind of stress on the timeline every single day. Whether he stays, whether he goes, there's people that are like searching his location wherever he's at. He was apparently in Halesowen today, which of course means he's staying. And then all of a sudden tonight, there's Man City sources reporting that he's on the move. I don't, on the kit, don't think we can look too much into that. I think someone had saved the photos, and on iPhone it has a feature where it kind of tags like the date and the location where the photo was taken on, or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm on Android, but someone had tweeted that, and the kind of photos of Jack Grealish were allegedly taken on the 21st of May. So this wasn't a recent thing, this kit shoot. However, I don't think you don't put your star man in the kit deal. When the club is being run as well as it is now, that's an important thing to asterisk. Of course, we know we did that with Delph back in the day. The club was a mess, so that's why it's important to asterisk. How this club is being run is very much important. You don't put him in the photo shoot. You don't have him saying, this is my club. I love playing for this football club. This is my hometown. All that kind of stuff. To then go on and sell him because you look really stupid. And these guys certainly know a thing or two about PR, don't they?
Mate, the boy is not going anywhere.
He's not.
Let me tell you this now. The boy is staying. Are you crazy? Like, it's like there's one way I look at this, right? It's like, why would he go now? This is like, as I was saying earlier, like the one time it's been exciting to be a Villa fan. The club is full of like amazing players that you're finally like, okay, these guys are on his level. Like, look, I don't think you can rule out what Emmy has been doing. I shout out to you, my man. I know you're listening. What he's been doing out in a couple of Libertadores, like these Villa players, like Emmy, Dougie went to Libertadores as well. Commiserations to you, my son. Best of luck in the Olympics. You've got guys like Emmy, Ashley's come back. It's like, man, he's going to stick around. And the thing is I'll say this now, it's like, it's Europe or bust this year.
Yeah, it really is.
If we don't get Europe this year, as a Villa fan, I'll say I'll pat him on the back, bid him farewell, because he needs to go and get that done. Like he's a champ, let alone Europa League. The guy's like upper level Champions League player quality. Like he's an absolute star. So it's like, if Villa don't get Europe this year, I don't think there's a Villa fan that will begrudge him wanting to go and make that move. I really don't, because he deserves to be at that level. But the man is right there. I saw Villa change their cover photo on Facebook to a photo of Jack and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, yeah, maybe we are reading into it a bit too much, but we're just desperate. And, Ashley Priest, who's a very, very reliable journalist, usually when it comes to Villa news, saying that it's a done deal. The guy's staying. And, when the leading source is like, a few weeks ago was Jim White and some guys from the Mirror, it's like, come on now. Come on. So now, mate, I've got absolute faith that we'll see a number 10 lined up at the start of the season, and it'll be done in that famous hairband for sure.
And we even had Collymore teasers. Collymore took a picture with Jack's old man at the game, and then there was some sort of replies, which he has since deleted, where he kind of alluded to the deal being done. He then takes a photo with Jack after the final. Stan knows exactly what he's doing. He's been in this game for a while. We're not just talking football; we're talking journalism here as well. Whatever you think of Stan Collymore, as a bloke, he's a Villa fan. He's a journalist. You don't intentionally go out and poke a bear like Villa fans like that. He doesn't want more hate from Villa fans by taking selfies with Jack's old man and Jack and sort of alluding to, because what's Clout doing to Stan Collymore at this age, man? He don't care. He's a Villa fan. He must know something. I mean, that's what I'm going off. So I'm not worrying too much. I'm sure I'm going to clip this up and this is going to go on Twitter and probably cause a massive debate when Grealish eventually signs for Man City, in 2 weeks' time. But here we are, Dan. He's staying. I think we can, again, this isn't in the know. This isn't, this is in the feelings. It's better than in the know.
Yeah, in the feels, mate. We don't need ITK. It's about ITF in the feels.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And, just seeing him don the new strip and smiling. I mean, you just can't not smile. I mean, the guy is beautiful. He's won over the hearts of the nation over the summit as well. And yeah, I think he's here to stay. And again, listen, Dan, talking about another sort of player that, suggests, Villa mean business. Again, we're going to speak on him, Julian Alvarez. If you want more of an in-depth kind of breakdown about Alvarez, how he plays, you guys know our usual transfer rumor style. We'll link the video to that in the end card, because we did kind of cover that a week or so ago now. I can't remember, it's been a while. But we did sort of do a sort of deeper breakdown. However, as the story has kind of evolved, it's been a bit slow, so it's not really been worth us covering it as much as we've been seeing it. But it seems his agent was over here 5 days ago, seemingly sort of wrapping the deal up. It seems like he could be on his way. However, there is allegedly late interest from AC Milan, who've just signed Olivier Giroud. Again, perhaps wouldn't look too much into that. I think the Giroud announcement is, to be confirmed. We've not got the here we go from Fabrizio yet, I don't think, but that's essentially a done deal from what we all understand. I don't really see him going to AC Milan. I think there's probably more money, better sort of opportunities domestically for him at Aston Villa. And I mean, this is exciting, man. This is a player who's away at, with the Copa America with Emi. We know he will have been in his ear because he was doing the same with Buendia before he got cut from the Argentina squad. Again, this is just really exciting, Dan. They're reporting around the £9 million mark. I believe it's a release clause that we're activating as well, if I'm correct, if what Ashley Priest and them lot have been saying is true. I mean, again, exciting times, mate. Covers a multitude of positions. When we've seen Norwich have gone for our man Milot Rashica, who even is he at this point? We've got Julian Alvarez, mate.
For sure, yeah, mate. It's a deal whereby you sort of look at it and the price seems really, really good. Really shrewd business. He's really versatile. He's quick. He seems to be a bit of a natural goal scorer. Just 20 years old. Obviously capped for Argentina. I was listening to an interview with Tim Vickery, who's sort of like the BBC's South American sports correspondent, and he said, you'll have to double take on this one. He warms the cockles of every Villa fan. And I did have to sort of read that into. I was like, wait, what? Beg pardon? I mean, he will almost certainly do that, I'm sure. But
Sure.
Tim did say cockles, by the way, guys. And he actually compared him to Gary Shaw in the interview. He said he reminds me a lot of Gary Shaw, and that Villa fans should be really excited to sign him. It seems like a player who looks set to come in. It's always good when you've got reports coming from that nation as well, especially when it's as obscure as like Argentina, when you've got journalists here and journalists there saying, yeah, this is progressing quite quickly, because it's one thing, but you never really know who to believe in England. But when you're backed up by then seemingly reliable sources like TNT Sports over in Argentina, you can sort of back it a little bit more. And this one's really exciting, mate. Really exciting. It's a deal whereby I think it's good that we've got Emmy. Funny enough, that's going to be fun this season, isn't it? Because it would be a really difficult transition to make, wouldn't it? Coming straight from River Plate to Villa, just 20 years old. But the last time we signed a young, promising player from River Plate, it didn't go down too badly. So, I mean, if he can do anything like what Juan Pablo did, I think we can be in for a ride.
Cult hero status, mate. And let's be honest, the transfer dealings that we've sort of dealt with in the Premier League with South America in recent years, when you're looking at La Roca, Carlos Sanchez, not been the best. So hopefully, this is the upturn that we needed signing Emi Martinez. What a guy! He really transformed the fates of our club in many ways. And I'm looking forward to seeing them and everyone just sort of reunite, mate. Because as you said, I was kind of over football. Felt like I needed a bit of a break. It's been a long season in terms of just not only just being a fan, but just creating content, writing, doing podcasts, this kind of stuff. And at this point, actually, Brazil, it looks like they're beating somebody in the Olympics. Gabriel Martinelli's just scored. I think it's Dubai, maybe. 3-2 in the 36th minute. That's a bit mental. But no, again, just as I'm saying there's too much football, here I am getting at Brazil's Olympic score updates. Like, what is going on? This is what we're programmed to do, Dan. It's mental. But no, I'm really excited for the new season. This is a massive season, arguably. I know we said this last season, Dan, and the season before that, and the season before that. This is the biggest season of Aston Villa's in recent years. There's plenty to be excited about. And I guess that means there's plenty for our wonderful listeners to be excited about as well, Dan.
Yeah, for sure, mate. For sure. This is get ready, get locked in. This is another season of the Villa Fella, mate, back and bigger than ever before. I'm absolutely buzzing for this campaign. These pods are going to be coming back to their normal regularity. We've been on a little bit of it's been a busy July, I think we'll say, for me and Dan. We've had a fair bit going on, both professionally, personally, and in the pub. But I think we're putting that to one side now, and we're back down to business. So yeah, I'm really excited, guys.
Absolutely. And hopefully, I mean, we alluded to a lot of big projects coming up, Dan. We just need people to reply to WhatsApps, don't we, at this point, to get things on the go.
If you know,
you know. But hopefully there's some exciting things for you guys. There's a couple of podcasts that we really want to get recorded with some people that we know you guys will love. There's some other kind of content that we want to do as well. But again, that's all kind of time permitting. However, transfer rumor mills. I'm sure there's going to be some more deals coming through the door. Especially with Julian Alvarez. So you best bet, if you're not subscribed, you should, and you should also hit the post notification so you never miss a video or podcast from ourselves here at Heart of the Holte. Admittedly, it's been a while, so if you thought your notifications have broke, that's just us. So many apologies. However, Dan, I think I've seen everyone else do it, mate. I feel like we need to give away a shirt at some point. So maybe we'll assess the old subscriber count and see what we can do about getting a shirt sorted for you guys. So yeah, if you wanna be in for a chance to win that, make sure you subscribe. That's all I can say. Any final words from yourself, mate?
No, absolutely, guys. I hope you enjoyed your summers. It's all good. I can't wait to see the normal faces back in the comments and everything like that. So yeah, let us know. Hopefully that you've missed us, and yeah, mate, I can't wait to get back into it.
Awesome. As I say, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, hit a like button, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more content. Up the Villa.